Let me know when. All right, good afternoon and happy Sunday, fellow people of Valhalla. Today we actually we have ourselves a wonderful little matchup today. We got Far Out versus Trash Pandas in the Loki division matchup. My name is Blubber Ducky. I'm joined here by Sir Getting Cocky. We call him Sir Cockamus. The whatever else you want to call him. There's a bunch of nicknames that we have him out there. It was actually on Trash Pandas, and me and him are going to be duking it out at the 5 o'clock set versus with the KWM sets. So super excited about that.
Which is also going to be casted. So
Yeah, which is also going to be casted. So we're super excited about that. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. Cocky, since this is Trash Pandas, you're within this organization and stuff like that. Tell me a little bit about this team. They seem to be doing really good so far in the season. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, so Trash Pandas is right now the only undefeated team in Loki. So they've got ReportOrSupport and support. They've got MiatsuZ jungle. They had Turkey mid, but he had some issues and is no longer in the league. So I think it's ItsJuicyJimmy in mid. Evalyian in the jungle and Khaositcc solo. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really got a chance to watch any of their scrims, but they seem to be popping. So hope they can continue against Far Out. And Far Out looks to be a strong opponent since they are 3-1, and do have some firepower. I think Motion is a good jungler, from what I've heard from Loki players and so on. So.
Well, as we're starting off these picks and bans here, Far Out's going to go ahead and with the first ban, starting off with the Tiamat Trash Pandas, getting Morgan Le Fay out of the way. Didn't really think that was going to rhyme, but out here, as we've seen in this the meta, a lot of these mages are just like a lot of these top bans. You see the Tiamat, you see the Morgan Le Fay, you see Soul. You see a lot of these people, Athena being taken out right now.
Wasn't banned, I'm sure you'd see.
Yeah, right, too. Right. Mages are like the best gods in the game right now at the moment. They're just.
It's funny because early in the season, I was getting a lot of flack from particularly your captain and other mage players about, mages below their kits, and then they just kind of sit there for like 7 seconds and do nothing. Right. But with how oppressive that Morgan Le Fay and Tiamat are, it's kind of can't really talk now.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is that I don't think there's any argument that mages aren't really strong right now. And especially with the boots change, being able just to rush either a Charon's coin or whatever it is that they're going out in the build early, just still makes them really strong. As we see an Apollo ban for the side of Far Out, which is interesting enough because we know that MiatsuZ likes to play that pick, so they're going to go ahead and just get a little target pick out there. Soul being taken away on Trash Pandas, and then the first pick coming out, locking in, is going to be the Chiron for the side of Far Out. And so quite a bit on the board here. There's still a Gilgamesh available, which is interesting enough that they opted to not go for that pick. And I haven't seen any of these games in the past from them, but do we think that that's something that Trash Pandas is going to pick up here?
I'm not sure. I've seen Evalyian in the jungle a few times, and I'm not. It's been kind of all over the place in terms of what he's played, as we do see the Ymir coming out here for the Trash Pandas. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a Gilgamesh. But Gilgamesh is kind of weird because I feel like he's strong, but I think some people just overvalue him completely.
I think that he is a really strong kid. He's better off in the jungle than I feel like he is in ADC. And it's just interesting to see that.
Solo?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was thinking ADC. I looked at him Medusa. Yes, I apologize.
I don't think you want to Gilgamesh ADC, though.
Well, the point still stands. I think he's better in jungle than he is in ADC. But I think he's better in jungle than he is in solo. And he has a little bit more map presence here. And just with the Ymir Medusa, probably just leaning on the side of comfort for the side of Trash Pandas, and Far Out going for a really nice pick with the Giannis as well. Get to see Guzzy try to flex that out a little bit. So we're excited to see that, and I'm just surprised. I'm gonna be honest with you. Usually people like to value a Gilgamesh and get to see it usually banned or whatever. And right now we're 4 picks in, and we still haven't seen that god being picked up yet. And then
looks like 5 we won't see it either.
yeah, it's rounding it out for the first set of picks. The Jing Chen being locked in for far out here, and right now, Trash Pandas, you got to look at okay, that pick's still available whether we want that Gilgamesh or not. You also can go for our mid laner or our solo, and it looks like that they're hovering the Uller, which is interesting enough to see because I'm really not sure what they're gonna do with that. I'm probably going over into mid, but even if so, I wouldn't pick it here in the top 3 slot for them.
Yeah.
Um, but I
If
mean,
they're gonna flex one of those to mid, then yeah, we see the Tsukiyomi being locked in. So looks like, I mean, it could be flex into solo, but I mean, I have a gut feeling it's probably in the jungle, but it might be solo.
well, also the Tsukiyomi is also a really good pick into the Giannis because the simple fact of you can just follow him through his ultimate and or through his portals, and it's really strong. I do like the Jing Chen pickup here for the side of far out because if they do actually if they're able to, if this Ymir, if ReportOrSupport doesn't go beads here, the Jing Chen just should have a field day with him, and it should be interesting. But we could see a little bit of spice plays with the maybe walling off the Jing channel so you don't get tossed so far, stuff like that. But right now, far out, taking out the Raijin, rounding out this set of bans. Trash Pandas taking out Fenrir and Pele. Scylla also being the final ban slot for far out as Poseidon being locked in for the side of Trash Pandas. Not necessarily the biggest pick that you see as of recent. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I've seen a Poseidon play. Just kind of been falling off. So interesting enough, just with the Medusa, the Poseidon here, the back line. It's actually going to be kind of scary here. They actually have some pretty good little lockdown with the cripple from the Poseidon, but and then far out opting to go for the Odin, which me personally, I don't like that god. I hate him. Really annoying, spams his cooldowns and his cages, just
And
really hard to get out of.
especially it looks like that is an Odin jungle because I can't imagine that you're gonna send Cthulhu or XT into the jungle. I mean, anything's
Yeah.
possible, but
Yeah, and that's exactly what it looks like here. And the Cthulhu probably going to be more than likely going over to solo. Jing Chen and support Odin, and that's a triple front line, really scary because with if they're creating that much space and Giannis is free roaming the map and able just to portal in and out, dive in their backline, that just kind of helps out the Chiron even more. And then as the last pick coming in, and the Sun Wukong being locked in for Trash Pandas as we're rounding out this draft. I'm gonna be honest with you, I like Far Out's draft a lot better.
yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Trash Pandas, as we've said, as a more premier team in this Loki division, hasn't lost a set all season, so they're looking really strong. Maybe this is the science and stuff that they like, with these comfort picks, or they have something in mind that we're not, thinking of. But overall, in general, I do like Far Out's draft because I do like, trying to apply as much pressure as you can. The Odin cage, there's nobody that's going to be able to get out of that Odin cage at all. None of them has any leaps or anything like that. So the only thing that's going to be able to get out is a Sun Wukong, and that's if he uses his ultimate and leaps out of the cage. Other than that, they're all locked in there. So I'm expecting to see some big Odinals from Motion here in the jungle. And super excited to see what's to come here for these upcoming this upcoming game 1, as we're going to start with this 2:00 set, man.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about the Poseidon and the Medusa picks on Trash Pandas. I mean, if they're cover picks, then that's one thing, but usually when something's isn't being played, there's usually a reason for it. And I feel like Poseidon kind of falls in that boat.
Yeah, and the
Just
thing is,
with the delay, the one being a really weird ability, the two just being essentially 3 autos that go in a straight line, and you have the crux of his kit there, the 3 that is delayed and also takes a hot minute for it to get to full size.
yeah, I feel like that Poseidon's kit is a little clunky to say at best. The tidal wave definitely a little bit weird, a little hard to hit because the animation on it just looks kind of funky.
Yeah.
But overall, in general, it's one of those things where you just get up close and personal, and you just dump your kit along with the Kraken on top. And so, I mean,
which is ironic because Giannis wants to do exactly the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Giannis wants to play around and everything like that, and It looks like that we're going to go ahead and get into this game. Super excited. I mean, I think we're just as far as this whole week 5 matchups. I mean, we have a really strong cast set for all the teams. I was looking at the schedule and I was like, man, I don't think that there's one game that's on here that's like not going to be a good one or not going to be a banger. So Phoenix definitely did a really good job of picking the proper games to be casted. So
it looks like we have aggressive duck in the mid lane, not who it was you said in before.
Wild Turkey Down. I don't think I've seen that name before.
that's a name. That's a name.
It is definitely a name, but so there.
I'm not one to speak on that, I guess.
So we're seeing a little bit of 2 different starts here. Far Out opting to go with the jungle, starting over on the red buff, and both support and ADC starting over on the purple. Speed buff timers are going to be a little bit off, but Giannis is going to be able to get over to mid lane a lot quicker. They're probably going to get a little bit more pressure over in the duo lane. But interesting enough, there's going to be a little bit offset rotations on these buff timers, and we're going to see how this thing plays out for them as duo lane and Far Out already getting a little bit of pressure, hitting level 2. Go ahead and try to invade these back camps. And the good thing about I like the Chiron matchup better into the Medusa. I don't know. I'm one of those ones where it's kind of like prove me wrong on some of these picks. And Medusa isn't necessarily, as much as I love that god, not necessarily the one that I would always pick. But if anybody could do it, I know it's MiatsuZ, who's been one of the more premier ADCs inside this Loki division.
Yeah.
And definitely excited to see the repeat duo from Game Changers Loki last season, now taking it over to Trash Pandas ReportOrSupport and MiatsuZ. So and they're still continuing the onslaught. So
yep. I'm a little surprised to see the Bluestone trans 1 start from the both of them. I mean, we had obviously if there's 2 characters that are gonna start, like obviously yes, it makes sense for it to be the Chiron and the Medusa, but we haven't really seen that a whole lot, as we do see aggressive duck get first blooded in the mid lane, while the Wukong is a little bit low here.
Yeah, and actually, it was interesting enough because the Tsukiyomi looked like he took the left side camps and then just kind of walked up from behind him, and then they just kind of put a little bit of pressure on him underneath the tower. So it's a good heads up play. How do you say that name? Is it Eva? I don't even know how to
say Evelyn.
Evelyn.
I don't know if it's.
I don't know either. If I'm saying it wrong, somebody definitely correct me.
In Discord and stuff is Crow, so I go by either Crow or Evelyn. I'm not sure exactly which. I haven't been corrected so far, so I'm assuming it's correct.
I think it's Evalyian, because there's an I in front of the Evalyian. I don't know. We're just gonna say that. But anyway, going in, getting the first blood. So that's a really big play. And with Tsukiyomi, it's one of those gods where you can apply a little bit of early pressure, and if you get a Suki that's ahead, it's kind of scary to deal with, and can actually be a little bit overwhelming. So off to a pretty good start for the side of Trash Pandas, as now we're on the second set of rotations of the buffs, and looks like everybody, there's no invades going on, nothing too crazy, just kind of doing our own thing. And right now, I mean, we see. I'm actually excited for this. Poseidon, it looks like he's about to look for a crack in here, and no, he decides just to back off. The as we've seen, with mid laners, I don't really know exactly what's the more premier start. We see a lot of Vamp Shrouds. We see a lot of Conduit Gems, Sands of Time. I haven't seen I haven't seen a lot of Conduit Gems. And this might just be me, but the main starter items I see is Vamp Shroud and Sands of Time. And so it's interesting to see that this Giannis is going the Conduit Gem here. And so, I mean, I don't know if you know anything about this, but I'll ask you. Is there any particular reason to go different starter items? I mean, I feel like Vamp Shroud's really strong right now.
Yeah, no, Vamp Shroud. I'm not a mid laner either, as you know. So I'm not the mid laner starter guru. But what I do know is that upgraded Vamp Shroud is probably one of the strongest starters in the game. It gives you so much. It gives you the percentage damage increase, you get protections, obviously you get the lifesteal. On Giannis, I would think to lean slightly towards the cooldown over the Conduit Gem, because I mean you don't especially because Giannis can't really one shot. As we see XT get really low here, and Yatsu dives into the tower but does get the kill. on that XT. And there's the Chiron ult being used as well. And looks like he does get 2 of those 3 shots in there after Jesus gets the return kill onto MiatsuZ. So yeah, so I would say on Giannis, I would prefer the cooldown starter over Conduit Gem and Vamp just because I feel like cooldown on him is really good, and with the nerf to his ult at the beginning of the season, you're not really going to be one-shotting people with it anyway, like if they're full health, since it's capped at what, I think it's 75%.
Something
so
like that.
You're not going to get any real value out of the extra. You know, if it's capped, I would assume that it doesn't proc anything additional, but I might be wrong on that.
And so, I mean, it was an interesting play there for Wild Turkey, as we did see the Zing channel try to come out a little early. Actually, I'd say a little late, low on the HP bar. I don't even think he pulled anybody there because the Medusa still has the beads online. They actually killed him.
Medusa ulted to CC immune.
Yeah.
Ult, so that was a really good heads-up play by MiatsuZ there to keep his beads online, and I mean his ult is up in almost no time.
I'm about to say the ult's definitely going to be coming back up, and that's a good thing about some of these guys, and especially whenever you're playing like ADC, having a CC immune ultimate is actually so huge because if you go to get crowd controlled in any way, shape, or form, you can just pop that ultimate, and it's a lot less of a cooldown than what you would have in beads. And right now, both ADCs starting off with 1 kill, but as we see AfroJesus just with a little slight lead, not having that death on him, and already starting into that transcendent stacks, as his left side looks to be a little bit pressured out. The Whirlpool taking up the majority of the lane, but they're able just to walk out, and a Kraken comes out and hits absolutely nobody. It's an interesting play there from JuicyJimmy. And now we see the Jing Chen coming out. And the thing, they're only pulling the Ymir here, and now they're just going to get rotated on, as we do see Evalyian kind of just going off right now. I don't think he hit the Giannis, and he did not. And unfortunately, he's just going to get away with a sliver of health. Aggressive Duck able to make it out. And I mean, that's a lot of ultimates used for not a lot of value. I feel like they didn't really get much out of it, and it was kind of used all separately and just kind of reactive instead of there wasn't really a whole lot of follow up on what was going on. And as we saw, Aggressive Duck just used his clear on the wave, and then we see Wild Turkey popping the Jing channel, and there wasn't really a whole lot he could do besides portal the tank.
Yeah, because the tank is the only one he pulled. So
yeah, so but they did end up getting the beads on Poseidon, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And so because he had no ultimate, so it's just one of those things where you have the beads are down on Poseidon, and so at the current moment, I think that this guy should definitely be their target and what they want to do, and I want to see a little bit more. I guess I could say proactiveness. I'll make that a word. As we do see MiatsuZ trying to dash in, AfroJesus might be in a little bit of trouble as the ultimate does come out. MiatsuZ trying to prove me wrong with this Medusa pick, and gets a nice solo kill. And starting to get those trans stacks online. Medusa really strong. Unfortunately missed the dash, but was able to finish off the kill with that really strong ultimate there. And
I gotta say, with Medusa's kit, that's one of the more surprising things. We do see the Kraken come out and a little bit off the mark there. It does get some damage, albeit minimal, since it was the outer ring there. And Giannis actually did beads as well. So
got to beads the Whirlpool so you can portal out.
Yep. Yep. Definitely the right play there, but that ult, I think I don't think he dies there even if he doesn't beads with how that Poseidon ult was placed.
And so like the interesting thing about this 3v3 is I don't really I like Trash Pandas 3v3 more, but I like the team fight for Far Out. Essentially with Trash Pandas, they have I like the Ymir. If they could, CC combo and hit the Ymir freeze into like a Whirlpool, get a little bit more setup, right? If ReportOrSupport is able to get a little bit more setup off these guys, it would definitely help out their Poseidon and even like the Tsukiyomi, which Evalyian is doing a lot of work on the Suki so far in this early game, and being a little bit more proactive. But if you're gonna Jing channel somebody, I mean, Giannis unstable, and there's not really a whole lot of burst that you're able to get out of it. And as we see, the Poseidon, the beats just came back up from the Poseidon, and now they're back down again. They got to take advantage of these Poseidon beats while they're down. Because if you're just constantly pulling them and then not doing anything in between, you're not getting a lot of value out of it. And so for the next, minute and a half, 2 minutes, they need to really be on this Poseidon's case to to try to get him. Because I mean, he's just he's out farming the Giannis right now. Giannis is 0-1 at the current moment for aggressive duck. And right now he's has a little slight lead. So they want to try to make sure they get more pressure on this guy while he doesn't have his actives available.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're looking across the trash pandas here, I mean, it looks like literally everybody has a lead, except for maybe that duo lane where it could be maybe a little bit of a wash there. Yeah, I mean, everyone other than literally everyone has a gold lead on the side of trash pandas, as the lead is what, 1.5K ballpark right now?
We gotta make sure we don't do math on stream, because we'll usually always be wrong. Oh, you're right. As we get later on, though, we'll see how long that math genius will last.
I graduated college with 3 business math degrees, so
the flex.
I think I could do quick maths.
Well, I finished my first year of college in kinesiology and dropped out, so here we are, buddy. Anyway,
I don't even know what that is.
Kinesiology?
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
It's a study of the human body and movements. I only took 1 year of college, but that was about it. Anyway, so as of right now, back to the set, guys. So we have a Chronos pendant online for this Giannis. And as we do see the Poseidon opting for that, nice little cooldown with the Soul Gem, also with the Chronos pendant online as well. Chronos pendant, does that give 20% or is that 10%? I'm not sure. I think it's 20, right?
It's 20%.
It's 20%.
That tick every 10 seconds. Yep.
Right.
It's being highlighted there.
Yeah, so that's really nice there for
the
that.
MP5 also obviously is an added bonus.
So I would assume that this Giannis is probably going to be going for a Charon's coin, Charons, whatever people like to call it.
The one that gives 20%.
Yeah. The percent pin. So it's like, I mean, it's going to help out a little bit, but with the Giannis, I mean, you could really just look to just blow them up, because it looked like that this Wukong, he has a blue stone going into the Soul Eater, and then he has a Conditia shield. So, I mean, it's going to be a little bit difficult, as we do see big damage coming out from JuicyJimmy with the follow-up from ReportOrSupport, as now we do see that Evalyian put in a lot of trouble onto aggressive duck, as he is just going to use the World of Time or whatever that ultimate's called, just getting out of there.
That is exactly what we were talking about, right? That once there's the setup for this Poseidon, then it's just gonna delete someone off the map, and Motion was the unfortunate party there who got deleted off the map.
Yeah, I mean, for the next trick, you watch his health bar disappear, and because right now Motion is going absolute glass cannon with this Odin, not necessarily a hybrid bruiser. So you get a lockdown on him right there. It's going to spell trouble for him. And with Odins, if you draft lockdown for an Odin, they're in a whole world of trouble, especially if they're not necessarily tanky. And as we just saw right there, I mean, that Poseidon Kraken literally took away probably about 3/4 of his health, because he had a whirlpool that stacked on top of it. Like, that was just a really nice play, and they had the follow up on top of it, and that's exactly what they wanted.
Yeah. I will say, though, I think the one thing that is concerning, if I'm a far out fan here, is that we see Cthulhu being used, is that I really think of Odin as being a early game character, right? Where, you can really abuse that early game quite well, and hasn't really got anything to do with it. I mean, look here again, like, he's almost dead.
Do you see? I mean, there was a big fight that broke out there, but it looks like they're just gonna back off. They're still hovering around. There's a little awkwardness going on here.
Khaositcc gets Motion on the back end there.
It's just
this might be dead too. Although Chiron makes the rotation, and MiatsuZ is not going to get there in time, but the ult used to secure the kill onto Khaositcc, and is not able to secure any more of his ultimate there for some additional damage. That was a 2 for? Was that a 2 or 1 for 1?
That was a
that was a 2 for 1, because it was Khaositcc. No, it was a 1 for 1. It was Motion and Khaositcc.
Yeah.
There, so you have jungle, level 11 jungle for level 14 solo. So I would say that slightly favors the far out boys there, especially because this Cthulhu is actually keeping up with him quite well.
that fight seemed to be, not necessarily the cleanest thing in the world. Target selection looked a little off, a little weird for me. Definitely, if they were just to go in on the same people or the ones that were at least CC'd, that fight would have probably been a hell of a lot better for the side of Far Out.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah,
would say it definitely was a little bit disjointed. It kind of to me it looked like Jordan was like, "Oh, I can kill here," and then ulted, and then Odin was kind of in the vicinity. And he's like, "Oh, I'll join up." Kind of how it looked like to me there, as far as does secure the gold through to help mitigate some of this gold deficit that they had, or still have, I guess, because they're still behind by roughly 2K at this moment. But that XP lead on the side of Trash Pandas, can you pull that back up, please? I would say it's a little concerning that last 2 minutes of XP difference there is, I mean, that's a pretty straight line down on the side of Far Out. So even though they had a slightly advantageous fight, it looked like Trash Pandas was still able to out farm them in terms of XP.
yeah, absolutely. And as of right now, I mean, it looks like that lead's just going to be extended even more as his right side T1 tower is just going to fall and put a little bit of pressure on. I mean, Wukong is one of those guys where you could just literally kind of run it and try to fight as much as you can, but a little bit of a boring lane with the Cthulhu. Not necessarily the most optimal thing in the world for him. Yeah. But as we are going to see, that looks like both teams are going to be hovering around this right side jungle, try to get their rewards up. Nothing on the left side in particular, as we did see that the Gold Fury was just dropped a little bit ago. So now the next big thing that we have on the map is the Fire Giant. And as of right now, it looks like that we're just going to be farming for a little bit up until we reach that point, either to get another gold or to fight under fire again, as we see a Giannis ult through space and time coming in over on this left-hand side. MiatsuZ might be in a little bit of trouble. And as now he's just going to hit that ultimate right onto Afro Jesus. And I don't think the rotation was really there in time, as now Evalyian is going to be trying to use a Tsukiyomi going all in. And now there's just a lot of ultimates being used. JuicyJimmy gets a kill on aggressive duck. MiatsuZ cleans him up as Motion is now using the cage, trying to see what he can do, but he's a little bit too far down. And he might just have to try to leap away here, as that was a really good fight for the Trash Pandas there, as now they're looking for this left side T1 tower, or T2, sorry.
Yeah, MiatsuZ did a really good job, I guess, of baiting Afro Jesus out of position here. And that's really, I think, what kind of got the ball rolling. And Medusa ult does do a lot of damage. Definitely, I think, caught Afro Jesus by surprise there, so much so that he did have to use the Aegis at the end of that engagement. But what I would say, like, looking at this game right now, what I would say is kind of danger territory for Far Out is that you do have a fairly large gap in the jungle. Before that fight started, it was a 4-level lead for Tsukiyomi over the Odin, and it seems like that's gone down to maybe a 2.5 or maybe roughly a 2-level lead. But again, like I said, I feel like Odin is very early game and didn't really utilize the early game damage that he has to really make an impact.
Excuse me, sorry, I'm a little sleepy here, as I didn't really get the best of sleep last night. I apologize. But in that last engagement, I mean, we saw the through space and time being used over to the left side of the map, but it seemed like that Far Out still didn't really beat Trash Pandas to that rotation. I mean,
no. Well, so going back to that engagement, kind of what happened was just so the Giannis ulted over, and Tsukiyomi was kind of in the middle between their red and purple. And so Giannis spotted the Tsukiyomi and was like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to go through that way." And they kind of took the long way. And Trash Pandas was already going for that gap at the purple buff, since you had the Chiron pushed up on the, kind of at the apex of the purple buff, where the T1 tower would have been. So
and kind of what it seemed like had happened is that Afro Jesus thought that they were all coming in, because they did probably call that they were going to use their ultimate and rotate over. So he was expecting them to be there, and then all of a sudden the whole cavalry shows up for Trash Pandas, and nobody was really there for the side of Far Out. And so it was a little bit on the iffy side there. And I mean, if you're okay, now they're getting a little bit of value out of this Odin cage. as now they're trying to trap the
Are
Tsukiyomi
they
inside. And
though?
I mean, not really. It kind of seemed like that they were, but through space and time, a little bit off the mark. As now it looks like the Khaositcc is going to be trying to chase down Motion in the back line, wreaking havoc. Jordan Reen is going to be going in on Evalyian, and I don't really know if he's going to get this kill.
That is
Huge
a
wall from
nice wall.
ReportOrSupport, as now they're turning tides,
That
and actually
wall
they're
is
going in towards
huge.
JuicyJimmy right now. After Jesus is able to secure the kill, as MiatsuZ finally makes the rotation over. And then now the Medusa ult is a little bit off the mark as the Giannis portaled on through. And now what seems like it was a good fight for Trash Pandas is actually going to keep continuing on with sorry, I was going to say Far Out. I just continued on with that as Jordan Reed might be, he has to be a little bit careful here. And Trash Pandas now could actually just take over on the farm on the right-hand side of the map, maybe look for something.
Yeah,
but
they could even push this T2. I
and
mean, they have 3 people there, and Wukong is healthy, and Medusa is healthy, so
they have the key component that they want with that Medusa, but they got to be really careful now because all of Far Out is rotating over to this. So if they overstay their welcome, and I mean, you got to try to play a few steps ahead. And as of right now, it doesn't look like the Trash Pandas really thought that one through. As now the Tsukiyomi pushing over on the mid lane. Oni Fury, it looks like that it is up and available for whichever side to take. And I don't. We're playing over on the right hand side of the map, and it looks like that. Far Out's actually going to be looking to take this Pyromancer. Just knock that off the board there. That's actually a really good
I will
point.
say I do like the aggression there from Motion, but I'm also concerned because ReportOrSupport and wildturkeydown are level 14 and he's level 15.
Yeah, it's a severely underfarmed Odin, that is for sure. He's about 4 levels down on his opposition, and but it doesn't seem like that Far Out really is too concerned with that. As of right now, they're going to be go ahead and pulling this Oni Fury, which is actually really huge. And Trash Pandas looks like that they're going to try to respond with a Fire Giant. And Fire Giant's going to take a lot more to burn, especially with a little bit late rotation over to it. Oni Fury is going to fall here shortly. And now Far Out has the through space and time aggressive duck. They decide not to use it and rotate over to the Fire Giant. I don't know what's going on here, but
they should have Poseidon ult still, so they should be able to.
Yeah, and they're able to secure this.
Early. This is danger territory if you're Far Trash Pandas, but they are able to secure the Fire Giant, and this should be a full disengage from the side of Trash Pandas. Although I severely underestimated the damage of training whales, aka Sun Wukong, as Snooze likes to call it.
I'm genuinely confused as to why they didn't just bring the whole team with a through space and time and take a fight with him on Fire Giant.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You either do one or the other, to where you either go in and initiate with that and bring the whole team in, or you could at least just bait it and throw your ult and then have like, I don't know, like 1 or 2 people. That's just I don't know. It's a little questionable for me.
Yeah.
And you get the Oni Fury, which is nice, but they get the Fire Giant. Now they extended their lead a little bit more, and Trash Panda's looking really solid right now, looking really strong. And as this right side T2 looks like it is just gonna fall if they do end up focusing it. But their ADC isn't with them. MiatsuZ rotating over towards the red buff area, and yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It's a little questionable for me, a little questionable call, but you live with it, and now they gotta maybe try to do something a little bit different next time, because I don't think that was the play.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. If you were to tell me, hey, we'd give up an Oni Fury and 1 death for, I think it was either 2 or 3 deaths and a Fire Giant at 23 minutes in the game, I would say give me the side that gets the Fire Giant. And
I mean, the only person to go down and not have the Fire Giant is JuicyJimmy. Yeah. And as much as it does stink for Poseidon to not have that Fire Giant, like the main component, like the one that you want for these sieges, you have everybody else. You have all your frontline, you have your ADC, and like that's like the biggest thing. As a DC, I believe that this is a pause that just came out right now.
Yeah. So I'll be interested to see if Far Out sniffs this out. This could be a dead MiatsuZ here. They do not have XT ult, but it should be up soon. But you do have the Chiron ult, you do have the Medusa ult, but obviously they're both CC immune in their ult, so if they ult the ult, then they just take the damage and not petrify. Draugr is interesting. We haven't really had a chance to talk about it today at all. I actually honestly haven't really been paying attention to see if they've been gotten. I feel like it's an objective that ADCs tend to forget about. Like there's been games in like ranked and even scrims and times where I'm like, there's no way this is up, and it is. And it's actually, if you're far out, it's actually really valuable for you right now because you're on the back foot, and it gives you, I want to say it's 7% mitigations per person around the Tower of the Phoenix. Also gives you some global gold. Yeah. So
I mean, it definitely helps with the defenses of the siege defense and stuff like that. But as of right now, this is a little questionable for the side of MiatsuZ. But I no Aegis available. Does have the beads, but if you're over here and you're completely by yourself, the team rotates in on you. That's going to be a little bit difficult because now you might get your beach forced, you might get your ultimate forced, or you might even die. Worst case scenario, and you force both of those out. And the unfortunate thing is that you won't have your ADC for an upcoming siege. So if Far Out's able to actually pull this one off, and they're able to rotate over and get this Medusa that's probably going to be going for this Draugr right now, then that's a huge win for them, because now that means that neither one of their backline damage has that fire giant. Still a little unfortunate with the front line because they've been kind of doing the show here. But I think that with taking MiatsuZ off of it is going to be a big thing for them, especially on these siege defenses.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing too about the Draugr is that Draugr is not quiet. Like it's not like you can just sneak it. Like you can see it from fairly far away that it's being done. So it's not like he can just position and not be seen and then be fine. And I mean, honestly, there's nobody in remote proximity to him right now. So
no, there's nobody in sight. There's no ultimate that could be able to get them there. MiatsuZ is literally left on an island completely by themselves at this moment. So it's definitely one of those things to where, let's say MiatsuZ does get a double kill here. Gonna look like a hero, but if they die, it might not be the best thing for him.
Looks like he is actually backing off of the Draugr, so at least that is the right play there, especially with no team in the proximity there, but does notice that Far Out does fall back, so he can now safely get the Draugr.
Yeah, as they're just going to back off, and then he just gets it for free. Team's going to be rotating in. It looks like they want to go for this left side, and I think that is a good call there.
Yeah.
As long as they get the team to actually group up, though, because I mean they're going to look over and see the Tsukiyomi is going to pop up on this map as he's clearing out the right side. Wukong nowhere to be found with them, and right now they want to push with numbers. I mean, we're 24 minutes into the game, and this isn't exactly like the best thing to do is to be walking around 3-man group while all 5 people for the side of Far Out are over on the left side jungle.
Yeah. I think Trash Pandas right now, they're just looking for something to do, and there's not really anything to do on the map other than push, and that might be why we're seeing a little bit of the split. I mean, it looks like there's about maybe 45 seconds on the Pyromancer. Obviously, they do still have fire.
And it looks like they want to try to go for a pick here. This Odin going for his speed buff, but it doesn't look like that he's going to be able to get that for free, as they do steal that away from him. A little bit of an engagement going on here, as now it looks like it's Jimmy going to try to crack him down. Jordan Reed on this Cthulhu, dashing out really low on the HP, as we do see
the XP throwing them away. Yeah, I think it would have been actually really good if he threw them into the Phoenix and forced an engagement there, as we do see Wukong getting a little bit poked out here, but it does have the ult available. Cthulhu ult also being used, and this mid Phoenix is low, but it looks like nobody's really going for it. Oh, it does fall finally, and Tsukiyomi does fall to the Giannis here, and it looks like it should be a full retreat here from Trash Pandas, as Medusa is low and has to Aegis the tower shot there, and Mirror is just gonna waltz on out of there.
MVP of that fight was definitely that mid Phoenix because Trash Pandas did not focus that thing out at all.
Yeah.
Not even in the slightest. And unfortunately, they kind of got punished for it. And as of right now, I mean, Khaositcc just going to pay for that as Jesus is able to take him down here and a good wall coming out. But, you know, Oden's just going to be able to leap out of it. And that's just actually a huge blink. They could look for a pick here on whichever one that they want, but they got to make sure that they choose the same target here as ReportOrSupport might be in a little bit of trouble here. I don't see
He
a
has
world
a
where he lives.
wall. Oh my god, these
There's
walls from
no
Reporters
way
Report are freaking huge. And Poseidon is still here and is now no longer there.
You know, it's just a lot of like back and forth, you know. And at the current moment, you know, I don't really know what I don't think there's a clear winner that's sticking out to me right now. Trash Pandas has a 10K gold lead. That's nice and all. But I feel like that they're like not executing things properly and kind of bad timing on some things. And right now, I mean, two of their teammates getting picked as a fire giant spawning back up and, you know, having that whole mess. I mean, they almost had 3 down because ReportOrSupport almost got caught out as well.
Right.
If it wasn't for, you know, a beautiful wall that he had in between. I don't know how he lived there. There shouldn't have been a world where he lives, but this Jameer still doesn't have any beads, and this Jing Chen is not getting any pulls off on him as he's just going to get walled off because he leaps in, and MiatsuZ able to clean up the kill here. And this is a little bit sloppy. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I think the XT was looking to press 4, and then when he realized his team did not follow up at all, he was like,
and MiatsuZ is
oh crap,
completely on his own over here while his team is doing Pyromancer. There's no reason in the world that this guy shouldn't get collapsed on. I mean, he's completely by himself.
I mean, to be fair to Far Out, they don't know where Poseidon is. So I mean, Poseidon could have been lurking over there as well, trying to bait someone in.
That's why vision is a valuable thing.
It is, and we do see just generally the lack of ward, There's plenty of offensive wards on the side of Far Out, as we do see there's two wards there, and Trash Pandas secures that fire giant for free, and through space and time being used by Giannis, and hits, I'm pretty sure, nobody.
Yeah, it didn't touch anybody there. As of right now, I mean, because of wave management, you know, about a quarter of the health was taken off of the Titan for the side of Far Out, and so right now they got to be a little bit careful. It's not EFG, so it's not the end of the world here. But they definitely do need to group because, I mean, it's obvious of where Trash Pandas is going right now.
Yeah, they're getting baited by the Tsukiyomi into thinking that they're going to push mid and try to end the game, but they do catch on.
And so, I mean, as of right now, Trash Pandas looking like they're wanting to go for a Gold Fury here, as it is primal, so it will help a little bit with the. I believe it's just with what is it, objectives, right? Anything like a Pyromancer or Fire Giant, so. even with towers and Phoenixes, I think it helps out with. But I'm not really entirely sure, but I believe that that's what it is. And all I know is that you take primal, it helps out with objectives like fire and stuff like that. I don't know if it helps with birds, but mid Phoenix is spawning for the side of Far Out, so that's actually good for them as their Titan now is going to be able to regen a little bit of health here, and you know, hopefully things will turn for the side of Far Out here, because these team fights have not been going their way, and it seems like that Trash Pandas tries to bite off a little bit more than they can chew. If they could just get like a bigger, more valuable Jing channel and have them just not get super poked out and picked early, I think that this could definitely turn the fight.
Yeah.
As of right now, we're 30 minutes into the game, and I like I said, still I don't think there's a clear winner here. The mid T1 tower still available for Trash Pandas on their defense. So just gotta maybe, if you're the side of Far Out, try to get a defense here, and you know, if you get the chance and the opportunity, knock out some of these towers, get them out of the way, lower down that Titan's health a little bit, and just get ready. Because I mean, right now they're all grouping up towards the left hand side. I don't think that motion needs to be over by his speed buff at the moment. I think they need to just be grouped up and get ready to go, because right now MiatsuZ pushing up that mid wave, and there's 3 people over on left right now. Just one of those things where, you know, we could see a repeat from the last team fight, but hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully Far Out learns from their mistakes.
Can we quickly go over to Golden Hand? Okay, so he still doesn't. My concern, if I'm far out, is that my XT just ticked over to 17, but he doesn't have. We do see the ult being used from Tsukiyomi, but not able to kill the Odin there.
You know, Michael, I have a question as to what the defense exactly was. Is Jordan Reed is just going to get absolutely obliterated right now. Through space and time hits only the Ymir on the tank, and both ultimates are being used. No pulls from the Xing Chen there, as now
There's a dead
Juicy
Odin.
Jimmy is throwing out the Kraken, and right now this Titan is a little bit weak right now, and it looks like the Trash Pandas are going to secure game one as they do take it down. I'm just questioning as to why they didn't send more people over to the mid bird where they had both of their backline hitting the Phoenix with the Poseidon and the Medusa.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the wave, like they didn't even have the wave. Like if they had the wave there, then I get it. But I don't think they had the wave there. At the end of the game, the wave was basically at the purple buff on the side of far out there.
I don't know. It was a little questionable defensive strategy for me there for the side of far out. But hats off to Trash Pandas taking game one there. I think that MiatsuZ looked really solid on this Medusa pick. JuicyJimmy still cranking out a lot of numbies on that Poseidon.
His build not so much, but yeah, he did fine.
Yeah, I was just saying, like the way he played, I think it was really good. The unfortunate side for the side of far out, I feel like they didn't get a lot of value out of the Xing Chen pick. I honestly, I think throughout the entire game, I think there was one pull, I think that we saw, and I think that was like level 6 or 7 on a Ymir, and he got portaled immediately because there was no cooldowns left for the Giannis. I think the rest of the time, it was either a beads or whatever. They got ultimates, they got beads, but they did nothing off of it. So if they're gonna try to do that pick, and he's gonna continuously pull beads, he's gonna pull actives, pull ultimates, they got to do something off of it. Because other than that, then it's just a waste. Because then you just kind of do nothing and you just sit on your hands. So, and I feel like they didn't get a lot of value out of the Odin pick either in the jungle.
Yeah.
I didn't question it. I liked the draft. I really loved what they had. I questioned Trash Pandas picks, but I feel like that if you're gonna go like a triple front line and stuff like that, I mean, I don't think they got much value out of the Odin cage either. Like the big ultimates that they had, I feel like there wasn't really a whole lot of value out of them. And so I don't know if this is normally what they run, but maybe try to, if they wanted to steer something different, something's got to change if they want to get something going for game two. Because if that's going to happen, then unfortunately, then that game's literally just going to end exactly how it did. And I think that game was entirely Trash Pandas. They were in control, but a lot of the times they were doing too much, or they would overextend, or they would kind of brainlessly do something and then get picked, or they were the ones keeping far out into that game. And I feel like that, if they really wanted to just push the note and, put their foots on their throat, they definitely could have ended that game a lot quicker. So, I mean, I think that both teams have a lot to improve on going in between these games. And, I'm excited to see if there's going to be any major changes through picks and bans here.
Fun little tidbit. The Odin did not ult for 13 minutes and he built max CDR, or 30% his first 2 items.
So production just told us that Odin did not ult for 13 minutes.
Oh, I am unmuted. They can
hear
yeah.
I figured you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, so you heard from him what he just said, and that obviously again, like on an Odin, you want him to ult, right? You want him to separate his team or a player from the team, and not ulting for 13 minutes. It's not good. Like obviously, like I get, like obviously it does take time to ramp up to level 5, but still, like it doesn't take you 13 minutes to hit level 5.
Well, the thing is that with the way that it was, right? I think the thing that you really want is, especially if you're building max CDR, I mean, you throw a cage down. If they phantom, okay, cool, just cage them again. None of them are able to get out of that cage, and if you have max CDR, they're able to get out. You're caging them once every 60 something seconds. Like not even. It's probably.
I think the ult on full with no CDR is 60 seconds. Let me pull up. I actually have Smite open.
Because I think because with full cooldown, that Odin cage is up like every team fight.
Why doesn't it show the cooldown? And What?
And so, but regardless, at the end of the day, I still stand by it. I don't think they got a lot of value out of it, and I think that, I don't know if that was a comfort pick or if they've tried it in scrims and it worked out and things were going good for them and everything like that. But I think
Might
that
have been they just wanted to keep it from Khaositcc as well, because they really didn't have a way to get out of Odin Cage either, to be honest with you.
yeah, and I mean, if that's the case, and it's something, if it's not something that's like super comfortable or whatever, I would just ban it, or you know what I mean. I feel like it's always better to play something different um than if you try to go for like a counter pick on something that you don't necessarily look the most comfortable on. So
Yeah, I mean, I
um
would say in this league a lot. I feel like more times than not, playing a comfort pick over playing a quote counter pick, and it's actually a 90-second cooldown on the ultimate from Odin, so that would be 40% of that. Well, 60%, I guess, would be.
all right, let's go math wizard. What is it? But we're getting into the picks and bans now.
I think it'd be 54 seconds.
Yeah, so a little under a minute, but
Yeah.
regardless, at the end of the day, they got to get a little bit more value out of the jungle support pick. And right now, Trash Panda is banning the Tiamat, as we
Yeah, it will
did
be
see from
54
last
seconds.
time. Same exact thing. Morgan Le Fay being taken out for the side of Far Out. Probably gonna see, yeah, we're gonna see a Soul, probably an Athena ban here shortly. And from last time, I think that there was also a set ban. So we're just trying to see like what exactly is going to be changed in between these picks and bans, in between each game. I don't think there's going to be any target bans from the previous game. I don't
I
think
mean,
there was
unless
anything
unless Far Out bans Apollo again,
right,
as
which
they
is
do.
yeah, which is exactly what they do here. Still not a bad ban, in my honest opinion. You want to take them off something comfy. As Trash Panda is going to ban the Ymir, and if ReportOrSupport is not going to play it, then they don't want nobody to play it. So I'm going to go ahead and take that away from them. And I'm interested to see what's going to be this final ban, rounding out the first phase of bans for the side of Far Out here, as Trash Pandas do have the first pick. Like there's still a Gilgamesh. I mean, none of the teams picked it from last time, so I don't know exactly what's going to be done in here, as we do see a Tsukiyomi now being taken off the board there for the side of Far Out, and Athena is now the one being picked up in the first pick, as we did see banned in the last game. I mentioned to see. I mean, I think ReportOrSupport played really well in this Ymir pick, and I think that he's going to be able to get a little bit more active on this Athena pick as well.
Yeah.
So it could smell trouble for the side of Far Out, if they're not. I mean, I think that Far Out had a little bit of global pressure, right, with the Giannis in the last game, but I feel like that there wasn't a whole lot to show for. I I don't know. I feel like that their draft could have been more more valuably used than what they had from last game. So
I guess
um,
Afro Jesus really likes his Chiron, as it's locked
yeah,
in for the second game in a row.
hey man, if it's up and it's there, might as well take it. Chiron, really strong god. Also, you could cleanse an Athena taunt. So I think it's really strong into the Athena, and definitely, you don't want the other team to have it. And as we do see a Geb being hovered over, and that wouldn't be bad either. They're really trying to get this Athena to really have a rough time, as we do see that the Geb's going to be go ahead and locked in. 2 cleanses already off the board for the side of Far Out, and Uller being snap blocked on the side of Trash Pandas. It's I'm okay with that. Whatever. I questioned their draft last game. I can't even say anything this game. I can't question anything that they do. They whatever they had last game, it worked out for them, and so I'm just gonna say what they have, and we're not even gonna question it, because it's Trash Pandas, and they're looking really good this season.
Yeah, I would say Uller is very feast or famine. Like, if you're hitting abilities, then everything in front of you will die. But if you're not, then kind of doesn't feel very good. That's all I'm going to say about that pick.
Yeah, and as a big Uller guy myself, I do like the Utskis, and they're gonna go ahead and take up the Giannis as well. I think that their draft so far just kind of screams aggression and global pressure to me. The unfortunate thing with this is that so far with what they have, and I believe that's going to be in support with the Athena, right? I don't really see it going anywhere else. Um, the unfortunate thing that I see for the side of Trash Pandas is defense. If they get behind, global pressures kind of stinks. And if you're trying to defend a Phoenix or you're trying to defend whatever, globals stink because you're just sitting on your hands. You want to be able to catch them off guard, make rotations, everything like that. So that's like the weaker shoot of it. So if Far Out is able to drown out this game a little bit, play for their buffs, play around, and defend what they have, and make sure that they maybe pick Trash Pandas for maybe getting a little bit too aggressive, stuff like that, and take this game to 30 plus. And then maybe like push the note to them and try to get them to be on the defensive end. I think it's going to really benefit them. And we're rounding out the first round as we see the Morgan being picked up. I like that pick. You have a little bit of options for global presence, at least for the side of Trash Pandas. Ullr's a decent transformation, not too bad. But you pick us up early and
kind of interesting to see the Fenrir and Thanatos bands on the side of Far Out. I mean, you do have a Morrigan, so if they were to pick one of those, then you would get one for free every 2 minutes.
Yeah, and figuring that they have that first pick out of the second phase as well, and they're gonna grab the Hunbat. So I mean, I think that again, I like the draft of Far Out. I like the draft that they have so far. They have a good amount of lockdown. The Morgan has a good transformation with the Hunbats here. Also with the Geb, there's a lot of initiation that they're able to use. Two different kinds of cleanses with the Chiron and the Geb for the Athena. And Ganesh being locked in. So Athena solo, there's no way it's jungle, right? I mean, it could be.
It could be. It could be, I guess, but
it's Athena jungle.
Okay.
Again, I'm not gonna question what Trash Pandas does because I questioned last game and they proved me wrong. So Trash Pandas, good draft. I like it. Far Out, I like it. So far, they got the Sobek. It's gonna be a Sobek solo. This solo lane, I feel like is gonna be so boring to watch between a Guan Yu and a Sobek. If that's really what it is, because I would hope that it's not a Guan jungle. But regardless, we got the solo Beck. You get the Morgan over the mid. You got some good transformations for the side of Mori, because now you have everything that's on the board. You have the Guan Yu. There's a decent amount with that. You have your own teammates with the Hunbat Sobek. It's not too bad itself there.
Yeah, you have a lot of really, really good ults to transform into if you're the Morgan. I mean, I count one. You've got, like you said, Humbats, Guan. I mean, even Ganesh. Like how I would take a free Ganesh ult. Giannis, Athena. That's 5 ults right there, and I would say Sobek ult isn't even that bad. Chiron ult is fine. Like, so you could
definitely
say really that's even a Geb ult. Like,
that's what I'm saying. If you want an initiation, if this Morgan goes blink, which I think that's what I would go blink.
That's the ballsy play though.
You go blink and you get a Hunbat's ult or a blink Zobek pluck or a blink Geb ult or even like if you're going for Athena, you use the ultimate to rotate in and then you blink taunt somebody or whatever. It doesn't really. I would go blink. That's a little spice and I do enjoy it. But overall in general, I really want to see Far Out take it to them this game. No disrespect on Trash Pandas at all whatsoever. Or if we want to do like a personal bias here, I do have a set at 5:00, so I'm not trying to see a major big game 3, but whatever happens on this cast, and I'm actually super excited to see what's going to happen here. Like I said, triple front line, not bad for the side of the Trash Pandas if it's actually if they actually use it correctly. Far Out does have a really good draft. I think I think it's going to be a little difficult sometimes with the Ganesh because I think the Ganesh is just annoying, to say the least.
He is one of, if not the most annoying support you could pick in the entire game.
And I would definitely say he's the Loki of Guardians. That's